Okay, Helen Hotstuff asks, start of day 3 for me, and I have had several urgent trips to the toilet. Oh, great. We get right started with the potty talk.
Right to the bathroom.
Which is very important. No cramps or discomfort. Is this part of the adjustment stage? Any tips if this continues? Thank you.
Oh, you're right on. Well, the good news, the bad news is you're going to be making frequent trips to the bathroom. The good news is that if you weren't, I would wonder. And what's happening at this early stage, I mean really early stage, is you are just shocking the hell. And I don't know what your diet used to be. I don't know how severe a change this is. For some people, they almost have to wean themselves into this. If they've been on a very low meat, no fat, and that's the key. If you've been eating very little fat and all of a sudden you start eating mostly fat, wow, your gallbladder may not actually be cleaned out enough to be doing a job and getting enough bile out to keep you from having the runs. A lot of us have sludge in our gallbladder from low-fat diets of never needing that much bile because there wasn't that much fat. And bile is an emulsifier, kind of almost like dishwashing liquid. It breaks down, it degreases the fat is what it does. And without that, the fat stays fat and it just wants to go right on through. So there's a number of reasons why people early on in carnivore get these different things, but they may be different for different people. Another big change that happens pretty quickly is your microbiome. And I know that everybody out there wants you to take probiotics. They think they know exactly what the mix of bacteria you need in your gut. The problem is what they know is the mix of bacteria that somebody on the standard American diet seems to need to handle all of that junk. The bacteria, it's not up to us to tell our gut which bacteria need to stay and which need to go. It's not up to us to try to impregnate our gut with the right bacteria, because the bacteria will survive when the food that particular strain lives on is present. And most of us have a gut full of bacteria designed to metabolize fiber and sugar, which is something that's going to be absent completely from our new way of living. These bacteria are the first to go, but they don't go without a fight. They protest. They're hungry. They eat everything. They're going to eat some of the other bacteria. You're going to have a revolution going on. And it usually will take a couple of weeks for that to settle down in your gut. And I think that's generally the cause of the most common bouts of diarrhea that most people have when they first start carnivore. You add in maybe what your gallbladder is doing, finally getting fired up, finally the bile's starting to flow, finally that sludge starts to get cleaned out and things start working. 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks, Helen, and things should settle down. But in hard cases, maybe it'll go a little bit longer. But what's happening to you is absolutely expected and completely normal, as well as sometime, and they call it the keto flu, but sometimes of being tired, having no energy. And that happens because the cells where you produce your energy in the mitochondria are having to get used to using pathways that have been dormant, the fat-burning pathways. If you're starving yourself for sugar, there's nothing to feed the sugar-burning pathways. And that's what creates these intense cravings when you first start carnivore. The cravings that I tell you to just keep stuffing your face with the meat. it's like a fraternity hazing or a sorority hazing. You're just going to have to put up with getting slapped on the behind for 2 or 3 weeks and work your way through it. There's no reason, I don't think, to alarm yourself unless it just doesn't get better. Then we got to try to figure out why you haven't adapted to all of this, to this whole new paradigm. So I hope that answers your question. I wouldn't worry about it. I would be happy about it. Every time you make a beeline for the bathroom, say to yourself, it's working, things are changing, life is good. just keep at it, and don't let the cravings get you. Don't let the cravings get you. Make sure you don't worry about how much weight you're losing or gaining or whatever. Make sure that you just never let yourself get hungry. Just keep eating. Just keep eating. Eat full meals if you're hungry, and you'll get through it. We all did, and we all had the same thing happen to us.